The other day, I stopped by a friend's house for a visit. The house had just been completed, and as soon as I walked in, I felt instantly comfortable. The living room was airy, the floors were spotless, and everything was neatly arranged. Overall, it was clear this house had a solid foundation, clean, bright, and pleasant. But while we were chatting, I noticed a small detail on the wall. A calendar for the year 2026 was hanging right on top of the mark from the old one, with a bit of last year's calendar still sticking out from underneath. At first glance, it just seemed convenient, reusing the same nail. But according to feng shui principles, layering the new over the old like that can quietly create an energy leak, which disrupts the steady rhythm of the household. And this year happens to be the year of the horse, a year that already brings fast and hectic energy. That is why items you look at every single day, like your calendar, need to be hung in the right place. If it is in the wrong spot, it could unintentionally trigger a ripple effect of unwanted consequences. So stick around to the end. I will point out 5 specific locations to avoid when hanging a calendar in 2026, so you can go check your home right away. If you have a calendar hanging up right now, but are not sure if the spot is suitable, just leave a comment. I will read them and share more insights in upcoming videos. Before we get into where to hang your calendar, I want you to understand one core feng shui principle. In home feng shui, there is always a clear separation between active and still zones. Some areas need to be active, so energy or the flow of movement through the house can circulate freely. Other areas need to be calm, so people can rest and recharge. Wherever you place something that moves daily, that space becomes an active zone. And wall calendars fall into the category of active items. By active, I mean it creates a repeated daily action, flipping the page, tearing off a date, glancing at the schedule, pretty much something you interact with every single day. At this point, you might be thinking you already know where it is okay to hang a calendar and where it is not. But not so fast. This part is easy to get wrong. There are plenty of spots that seem perfectly fine but actually should be avoided. So now, let us get right into the main topic, the 5 locations you should absolutely avoid hanging a calendar in, so you do not unintentionally drain your good luck, finances, or health without even realizing it. 5 places to avoid hanging a calendar in 2026. Number 1. Behind a door, especially the front door. This is a spot where a lot of people hang calendars just because it is convenient. You open the door and the calendar is right there. It does not take up a nice wall, and it uses up that bit of empty space. But in reality, this is one of the worst places in the house to hang a calendar because it can easily throw off the natural rhythm of your living space. Doors are the most frequently moved parts of any home. Every time they open and close, the vibration and rush of air causes the calendar to shake. Over time, the calendar becomes crooked, its edges curl, and the corners might even tear. Plus, the area behind doors tends to be dark and often neglected when cleaning, so the calendar quickly gathers dust and ends up looking worn out. From an environmental psychology perspective, anything you see every day that looks bent, dirty, or messy, even just slightly, creates a subtle sense of disorder. That little bit of chaos builds up over time and can make you feel rushed, forgetful, and less confident when making decisions, especially during busy coming and going moments. According to feng shui, the front door is the main entry point for energy to enter the house. If you hang a calendar right behind it, you are creating constant movement and contact at the very entrance, symbolizing unstable timing, interrupted plans, and money that flows in but gets pulled away just as quickly. The fix is simple. Do not hang the calendar where the door swings open. Just move it to a nearby wall next to the door. At an easy height to read somewhere, you can see it comfortably without the door brushing against it. If your home is really tight on space, use a sturdy flat frame and make sure the calendar stays untouched, even when the door is fully open. That one small adjustment reduces the physical shake on the calendar and brings more stability to your home's entryway. Number 2. Near the kitchen, especially directly facing the stove. This is another common mistake. Many people think the kitchen is a practical place to hang a calendar. It is where we cook, plan meals, and think about grocery shopping. So having a calendar there feels convenient. But the kitchen is also where a calendar breaks down the fastest. And when the calendar wears down, your sense of rhythm wears down with it. Just picture it, a brand new calendar hung up fresh, but within weeks it turns yellowish. The corners curl from the heat, and a greasy layer builds up. Your fingers feel sticky when you touch it. Or you have to wipe your hands every time before flipping the page. At that point, the calendar stops being helpful. It becomes annoying. That small repeated discomfort slowly makes the kitchen feel less clean, less bright, and less inviting. In feng shui, the kitchen represents fire and the foundation that nourishes your family. A calendar symbolizing time slipping away clashes with the steady, warm energy the kitchen is supposed to hold. Many people with calendars in the kitchen notice a pattern, not major losses, but constant spending on small things, utensils, repairs, random costs. Before you realize it, another month is gone and your money has disappeared with it. If your calendar is in the kitchen now, move it out of the heat and oil zone. Hang it near the dining table or on a wall between the kitchen and living room. That way, it is still visible but not exposed to smoke or grease. If space is tight and that is not possible, at least avoid hanging it directly across from the stove. Keep it as far from heat as you can, inside a flat, wipeable frame. This simple shift keeps the calendar neat and your kitchen calmer and more pleasant. Number 3. Inside the bedroom, especially facing the bed. Your bedroom is where your body needs to slow down in order to sleep deeply and recover. A calendar, on the other hand, is a symbol of scheduling, dates, deadlines, tasks to do. If the first or last thing you see when lying in bed is the date, your mind is likely to kick into planning mode. What day is it today? How many days until that deadline? What else do I need to do this week? This mental chatter is often quiet, but it keeps your brain from truly switching off. That leads to shallower sleep, trouble falling asleep, or waking up in the middle of the night. When sleep is not deep, your body pays the price in everyday ways. You wake up still tired, get irritated more easily, and have a harder time focusing. That drags down your productivity, leads to more mistakes, and makes time, energy, and even money feel like they are slipping away faster than they should. If your calendar is currently in your bedroom, the best thing to do is move it out of the room altogether. If you are used to checking the date from bed, try switching to a small desk calendar placed off to the side, somewhere out of your direct line of sight, or store it away and only take it out when needed. The goal is to make sure nothing around your bed reminds you of your to-do list. That way, your sleep can be deeper and your energy can stay more balanced. Number 4, hanging it in damp, dark areas or near the bathroom. This is a common calendar spot, especially in small homes or apartments. When no good space is left, people often hang it in a dim hallway, a corner near the bathroom, or by the sink. They think it is just for checking dates, anywhere will do. But this is actually one of the worst places because the calendar wears out faster than anywhere else. First, paper absorbs moisture. Even a slightly humid area can cause clear damage, soft pages, curled edges, faded color, or tiny mold spots. Near bathrooms, it gets worse from steam, toilet flushes, and cleaning. Plus, bathrooms often have damp smells. Calendars nearby absorb that too, making you less likely to touch or flip them. The second problem is lighting. A calendar in a dark corner gets ignored. It rarely gets cleaned, straightened, or flipped. People just cannot see it clearly. Over time, it collects dust, gets crooked, and days go by without updates. These small habits disrupt the home's rhythm. One forgotten corner can still send your brain signals that things are being overlooked or neglected. In feng shui, bathrooms are for releasing, while dark, damp areas gather heavy energy. Putting your calendar there is like letting your yearly rhythm sit in an unclean, shadowy spot. The better choice is to move your calendar to the living room, your desk area, or any wall you walk by and can see clearly. If the hallway near the bathroom is your only option, you can still lessen the impact. Place it a bit away from the bathroom door, pick a spot with good lighting and airflow, and use a flat or glass frame to block moisture. Most importantly, keep the area dry to avoid trapped humidity. Number 5. Hanging it over old pictures or last year's calendar. This is a very common mistake people make around the new year. Everyone wants to be efficient. I already have a nail there. No need to drill a new hole. It looks familiar in that spot. But this quick fix approach actually sends a subtle message. New year, same old baggage. And that can influence the flow of energy in your home more than you think. First, visually speaking, layering a new calendar over an old one or a picture makes it harder to hang straight. It often ends up slightly crooked, lifted by the paper beneath, or overlapping with the edge of what is behind. Even small misalignments, when seen daily, send repeated signals to your brain something is off. Over time, these tiny cues build up and create subtle tension. That low-level stress can lead to irritability, rushing tasks, or doing things just to get them done. Second, this habit usually leads to clutter. The old calendar stays, the nail remains, and nearby papers start piling up. That spot becomes a storage zone for outdated stuff. And once that happens, clutter spreads receipts, papers, things set aside just for now. Soon enough, temporary turns into permanent, and your daily flow starts to fall apart. In feng shui, the start of the year should be clear and open to mark a fresh cycle. Hanging a new calendar over remnants of the old one symbolizes repeated patterns, lingering issues, and new goals pulled backward by old habits. Many people relate, it is not that the new year is unlucky, but the same problems keep coming back. Financial growth stalls because the same small leaks and errors repeat. If this sounds like your home, fix it with a few simple steps. Take down the old calendar, clean the wall, remove unused nails or hooks, and hang the new one on its own clean spot. Make sure it is straight, with no curled corners or overlaps. If you hang it near artwork, leave space, do not let them layer. As you can see, even a small thing like a calendar can affect your space in big ways if placed wrong. The best thing you can do after this video is simple. Take 30 seconds to check where your calendar is. If it is in one of the 5 trouble spots, move it to a dry, well-lit, easy-to-see location. Keep it neat and clean. Just one small shift can lead to a tidier home, a clearer head, and smoother days ahead. If you are still unsure whether your calendar is in the right spot, just leave a comment with your current location or a quick description of your home layout. I will read through them and choose the most common situations to give suggestions for in future videos.